Welcome to the Envision RISE podcast show, a podcast that helps foster respect through inclusion, service, and equity. Now here's your host, Stacey Hegarty.
Welcome to the Envision RISE podcast. I'm Stacey Hegarty, Vice President of Equity and Inclusion for Envision RISE. Our guest this episode is Yecenia Tostado. She is the Executive Director of Project Azul. Thanks for joining us today, Yecenia.
Thank you, Stacey. I'm happy to be here.
So let's get right to it. First of all, tell us about yourself. Tell us about your professional history and a little bit about what you're doing now.
Sure, absolutely. So, hi everyone. I'm excited to be here with you all this afternoon. My name is Yecenia Tostado. As Stacey mentioned, I currently serve as Executive Director of Project Azul. My background actually is mostly in college and career attainment, specifically for underrepresented populations. So I worked for about 10 years in higher education, working with high school students to help them bridge the gap between getting from high school to college. With that, I also worked in career advancement in the traditional sense of internship to career. I've worked in both the higher education space and nonprofit space, always focused on serving and working with underrepresented populations. So this work that we do here at Project Azul really aligns with just my personal passion, my background. A lot of people who are just, near and dear to my heart in terms of, my family members, close friends. So the transition to work then with adults in this non-traditional sense was just really natural and a natural next step for me professionally.
I love when people's careers take them kind of into a natural change, but not a change. Especially when you're working with college students who are perhaps the first to attend higher education or the first to attend higher education in the US as opposed to someplace else, which is a very different experience. So let's talk Project Azul. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Project Azul is a nonprofit organization. Our mission is to work with individuals who are unemployed or underemployed and provide them with the support that they need in order to get from that unemployed or underemployed status into a full-time job that offers a career pathway to advancement. So we do that by offering services that really complement a working person's life, a busy individual adult with competing priorities. We provide individualized coaching services, barrier busting support, as well as training through our training partners at Vincennes University and Purdue University, and then job placement at one of our employer partners. So we work with a number of employers to provide either direct hire opportunities that are full-time and benefited or temporary to permanent employment opportunities. We work mostly with adults. We work mostly with people in that 25 to 44-year-old range, although we don't have any requirements in terms of being in that age range to connect with us. You can be just 18 and older and have that desire to work in a blue collar industry, specifically logistics and manufacturing are the industries that we support.
Okay, fantastic. So tell me, what does it look like? Let's what would your average client experience with you from the beginning of your relationship to the point where your relationship is over and they're off into their career?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we connect with individuals through a number of different avenues. And when we connect with individuals, we conduct a comprehensive intake to really understand where they are in their life and what their needs are. This support is individualized. We don't, recruit in like a cohort manner. Individuals can connect with us at any point. We offer trainings ongoing throughout the year and then provide them with that individual support to make sure that they have their basic needs met, that we're helping them with any professional barriers or personal barriers that we're able to support, and then enrolling them into one of our training programs. So we enroll individuals into a handful of different trainings that we support through, again, Vincennes University, their logistics training and education center, or Purdue University, their manufacturing extension partnership. And those trainings, they are short and they are accelerated and they're very much aligned with employer demand. So our trainings are short. They're anywhere from 2 days to 10 days. Those days tend to be full days. They tend to be 8-hour days because they're pretty comprehensive. So our trainings, even though they're short, they do cover a lot of information during that time. Once a participant completes our training, they receive a certificate of completion from one of the partner universities that we offer that training through. And then they work again with our coaches to understand what they need in a job. So that consideration can be, what side of town do you need your job to be on so that your commute is manageable? What shift do you need so that you're able to manage other responsibilities in your life, whether it's childcare or home responsibilities, just what else is important to you in making sure that we identify that from our employer partners. And then also, what wage do you need? I think that's a really critical thing to consider as well, because we know a lot of adults, especially those that are going from that entry level position into a better position, have a minimum standard that they need to meet in order to make ends meet, in order to have some money to put away. So we also consider that in our placement and referral to our employer partners. We also then, once we refer an individual to an employer partner, we continue to stay in contact with them to really understand, how is your job going? Are there any barriers that you're facing? What kind of additional support do you need? And then continue to hopefully track them through their career growth.
And is this at a cost to the clients that you're working with? How does that work? Is there tuition?
So there is no cost to our clients. We are funded through the generosity of a lot of local partners here in the city of Indianapolis. So we're funded mostly through charitable foundations.
Okay. Now, Project Azul came about sort of as I guess I would describe it as a solution to a problem that you were seeing, that there were lots of temporary workers who were being offered permanent roles, but weren't really accepting them. So what was going on at the time, and how did you go about bridging the gap there?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we have a really interesting history. We were founded by Tom Morales, who's the co-founder of the Morales Group, which is a staffing agency in Indianapolis. And kind of the problem that they were seeking to solve in founding Project Azul and launching a pilot out of the Morales Group was understanding why individuals, as you said, were being offered full-time roles through their employer partners, but not accepting them. And what they found is that individuals were being offered entry-level roles. And these entry-level roles were not paying the salaries or wages that they needed in order to make ends meet. So they preferred to stay in a temporary role or obtain a new temporary role so that they could, continue to gain a salary that helped meet their needs. So they started to kind of dig into, how can we help solve this? How can we provide a solution for these workers that helps lift them out of these entry-level roles, while also ensuring that our employer partners are having their needs met as well, receiving a skilled worker that aligns with their needs. So they piloted the concept of Project Azul out of the Morales Group with that in mind, after having conversations with temporary workers, after having conversations with employer partners. And then through those conversations and the success of the pilot, they had a desire to scale the effort. Scaling the effort is hard unless you have, others contributing to the support of the populations that they were serving. And through that effort, or through that desire to scale, they founded Project Azul as a nonprofit, which really gave us the opportunity to scale it in a number of ways. We were able to scale the populations that we serve by partnering with new community-based organizations, as well as different community initiatives to attract participants. We were also able to expand the employer partners that we serve to be able to provide opportunities, not just through the Morales Group, but through a number of different employer partners who also had a need for workers.
Now, through the Morales Group has, I believe, 4 pillars that the organization keeps at the center of what they're doing. And the Project Azul group kind of fills that skill enhancement pillar. If I'm getting this right, please correct me if I'm wrong. Let's talk about, what kinds of skills are you seeing people come to Project Azul with already existing? And then, you've mentioned Vincennes and Purdue as educational partners, and the programs that are focused mostly on logistics and manufacturing. But what kinds of skills should workers have before starting the program? And then what will they walk away with? What kinds of more specific skills will they have?
Yeah, I think in terms of what kinds of skills they should have, it's really just that desire to advance, that desire to progress, that desire to commit to a program, even though they are short, just to be able to commit to that program and really be willing to and able to apply that knowledge immediately, right? Because our goal is to get people into employment with a short turnaround. We don't want them to continue to be unemployed, 6 months down the road. We want them to be in employment within a few weeks, ideally, right? So I think it's just that being in that time in your life where you're able to commit and fully commit so that you gain the full benefit of being part of the program. And then in terms of what people walk away with, so we offer both the soft skills through our coaching. Again, our coaching is individualized. So if an individual needs specific skills with, let's say, interviewing, or let's say presentation at work or communication with their supervisor, we're able to provide that through the individualized coaching. And then we're able to provide those more tangible hard skills through our training program. So some of our trainings, for example, include forklifts. So we train individuals on the OSHA principles of being a forklift driver, as well as on 6 different forklift trucks, so people can get that official industry license on operating 6 different types of forklifts. We also train individuals on team lead skills. So those skills that you need to be an effective team leader, to be an effective manager, and be able to apply those in the manufacturing or logistics setting. And then we also offer a training class that is a manufacturing skills for success, which is basically like a manufacturing boot camp. It goes over, again, some of those soft skills that you need to be successful in the manufacturing space, but then also some very technical skills that you need for that space as well. And then in addition, we offer previous participants, so individuals that have completed one of those 3 trainings, a training in OSHA 10. So again, it's another industry recognized certification that participants can receive to enhance their skills and be able to apply those to the workplace.
It's so great that you all are focusing on those short-term credentials as opposed to longer-term degree pursuits or things like that. These are skills that get people almost immediately into the workforce, it sounds like. Tell me, what are the demographics of the population that you're serving in general?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we serve a very diverse population. We serve about 50% immigrant and about 50% native born. And then in terms of when you look at the racial and ethnic breakdown, it's about 40% Latino who we serve and about 60% Black. I mentioned that the age of the populations that we serve tend to be that 25 to 44, so that adult age. We also have a mix in terms of the education background. So about 60% of our population has just a high school diploma or less, and the other 40% has some college or may even have a degree. Some of the participants that we train are justice involved, so they have previous criminal convictions, and they're working towards a better life. And we also have individuals who are industry changers who maybe because of the pandemic have decided to change into an industry where they feel like there's more stability, or maybe just interested in shifting into a different industry for other reasons. So again, we just serve a very diverse population of individuals. A large population of individuals who are unemployed before they connect with us. About, again, 40% of the population that we serve comes to us without a job. So we're able to meet their needs and meet the needs of these diverse populations, again, because we're individualized. We have this, we implement this concept of care, that you're coming to us as a human being. You have dignity. We want to treat you with respect, and we want to provide you with the support that you need to help you meet your goals.
You mentioned about half of the folks that you're helping are immigrants. What special challenges do newcomers to the U.S. face when they're looking for work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think anytime you think about just leaving your home and moving to a new country or even a new city, there's a lot of, anxiety that comes with that. So some of it is just relieving that initial anxiety and helping them understand that there are opportunities for economic stability. Of course, some have language barriers depending, on their exposure to or proficiency of the English language. And here in Indiana, that can be a really critical barrier. That's, those are a couple of the barriers that individuals face. Sometimes we, especially with people from other countries, they may be very highly skilled in their native country, but their credential may not transfer to the US to where they're able to practice. So being able to encourage and support them through training and support in achieving a professional career in a new industry, that's something that we have to coach people through sometimes. So really it's just, again, identifying, what are the barriers that you have, and how can we provide you either with referrals to support, supportive services through English classes, or our individualized coaching, or workplaces that may have bilingual or multilingual staff where they can continue to advance.
It's amazing work that you're doing. Absolutely amazing. For our listeners who may want to get in touch with you, let's first talk about, how does a potential worker get in touch with you if they'd like to find out more about the training opportunities with Project Azul?
Yeah, so our website is a great resource, projectazul.org. That's a great place to really go to learn about our trainings, to see more about the work that we do, to read some success stories. They can also call us. That's always a good way to contact us as well. So 317-472-7599. We're always happy to have that initial connection be over the phone as well.
And is that where potential employment partners can reach you as well?
Absolutely. I think that phone number, or also our general company email, contact@projectazul.org, is a great point of contact as well.
Hey, last question. What about folks who are thinking about their charitable giving for the year and would like to make a donation to Project Azul? How can they go about doing that?
Absolutely. So I'll redirect you again back to our website. We have a donate button right on the top of that website, and we appreciate all support. It all goes to helping us grow our work and reach more people.
Well, Yecenia, thank you so much for sharing the really important work that Project Azul is doing. It's amazing. I love hearing these kinds of really proactive success stories that get people from unemployment to employment as quickly as possible, while also taking care of what their needs are in their personal lives. So we thank you for joining us today on the Envision RISE podcast. For anyone that would like more information about Envision RISE, you can find us at envisionrise.com.
Thank you, Stacy.